Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. This is Monday, the 11th of August, and this video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. And let's have a look at what's happened Friday on the US market. To begin with, we saw Nasdaq closing above this bearish engulfing top and reversal candle here, canceling it actually. So the 22,670 did hold, and we do have a new high, and positive sentiment still on the other side, indicating we could see a push up to around 24,000, possibly higher. And it was especially driven by Apple. And let's just have a quick look at Apple, what it did. We talked about it last week, what it could have done, and it closed above the gap there on the 7th, and on the 8th Friday it really took off with almost 5% push higher above resistance there around 225.70. So really strong move by Apple that has been trading sideways for several months, and now it's broken out of and could push higher. On the overall S&P 500 index, well, let's have a look at it on the cash index here really quick. You can see also higher, but didn't take out the top reversal pattern. Could very well do it. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. No divergence because the peak here is actually also the peak on the market. So it seems to there's potential higher also to cancel this top and reversal pattern. However, the pre-market idea is no change. So let's see what this week will bring. Dow Jones still a little bit sideways trading here. It needs to push higher also to be rejected up there to 45,000. So no new high on Dow Jones. So range bound at the moment. Moving on to the Asian market and Hang Seng. Well, it still hasn't broken above 25,177. That is needed to really resume bullish trend. RSI is still positive above the falling trend line, likely to push higher, but we need a confirmation above 60 threshold. On the Nikkei that spiked higher this morning. Here's the future, but then it sat back again below 42,000. So it seems to really be struggling here, but I think it will push higher eventually. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. On the European markets, well, hasn't opened just yet. But closed a little bit higher Friday here on EuroStoxx50 above 55 moving. I was still negative sentiment on the RSI, but a little bit higher. Then I think it will take out 60 threshold and close above it. Then we are back in bullish sentiment. EuroStoxx50, the CFD trading basically unchanged, so not much to say there. And the DAX got rejected there Friday at the falling trend line, so it really needs to take out that, and especially 24,445. Then it has established or resumed a bullish trend, and especially if we can get RSI back above 60 threshold to confirm the bullish sentiment. On the FX market, well, your dollar taking a little bit of breather after reaching the 786 retracement at 117 and change. See, it spiked just, didn't spike above it, just touched it, and then setting back a little bit, finding some support. RSI still negative, so let's see, will it slide back from here, back below 116. And what I will do is I will add, if I was a short-term trader, I will add the Fibonacci levels there to see, okay, there's some support here, just around 115.80. At the 38.2 retracement and the 55 moving average coming up there. I think we will push higher. We are above the cloud. I just need the RSI at 60 to confirm bullish trend with a close above 60 threshold. Sterling dollar, well, a very strong bounce indeed. Still in a bearish trend, lower low, lower high, lower low, and for now still lower high. It needs to take out 135.90 to establish a bullish trend, but it's a strong bounce testing the falling trend line. Could touch the 786 retracement at 134.90-93, but then we have the 55 moving average coming down there, kind of giving pressure to the downside. So let's see about that, what will happen. If it takes out the lows from today, then I think we will see it sliding back again. Sterling correction phase, currently trading around the 61.8 retracement at 86.60. I spiked a little bit more. I think it could test also the 786 retracement at 86.38, possibly sliding back to the 80 level here once again. So that will be key towards. If it takes out the peak today, because very volatile this early morning has been, then we could see a push up to the previous peak here, just below 87.50, 87.44. Dollar yen, well, range bound 146.60 and 148. That is the range you should keep an eye on. It can dip below to 145.85, but positive sentiment, no divergence on the other side, indicating we are likely to see higher levels. I think we'll see it bounce and take out the minus resistance here with a push up to around 149. Euro yen, Friday, well, tested this resistance at 172.40 once again, and the break above, it's likely to take out the resistance there and then push higher towards the previous peak and possibly higher. Still positive sentiment, but there is RSI divergence. You had this bearish engulfing top of reversal pattern. You could also see the RSI value declined, indicating trend exhaustion. But let's see here what could happen the next couple of days. Key support here, 169.70 should be observed. The Aussie yen, well, also a fairly nice bounce here. Could still bounce up to the previous resistance here, just around 97.40, 97.45. Fairly strong resistance indeed. RSI testing its upper falling trend line. If it does close back above 60 threshold, then I think we will at least see the resistance up there being tested. Sterling yen, testing the rising trend line here in the rising channel that it broke bearish out of. It is actually above the 786 retracement here at 198.56, but still negative sentiment on the RSI. So let's see, will it slide back or will it actually break higher and resume uptrend? That could be a key question here the next few days. That should be observed. It could bounce higher there, and this one should actually be adjusted. It is misplaced. There we are. There we are. So keep an eye on these levels. Let's replace. There we are. So so yes, just around 786 retracement, 198.90. Testing the rising trend line there. Could be set back because it is a little bit of a struggle here and will be a little bit of resistance and negative sentiment on it. If it takes it out, well, then we could see a retest of 199.95 and possibly higher. So it has been a really strong bounce. If it starts sliding back here, I think the setback will be temporary. We can see the 55 moving average up, 100 also moving up, underlying bullish trend we are seeing. Aussie dollar, well, excuse me, still negative sentiment on the RSI, but a very strong bounce because we're now back above the cloud. We are back above the 55 moving average. It bounced from the 100. I think if it takes out 61.8 retracement at 65.47, well, then I think we'll see a bullish trend really to resume with a push higher towards these levels. They're possibly also higher towards 67, but it could be a little bit of a struggle here. Dollar Canada. Oh, there's someone stepped on the my internet line apparently. There we are. The dollar Canada, Well, it has set back here to the upper falling trend line in this triangle-like pattern that it broke out of. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, bouncing a little bit here and from the 50% retracement. If it starts moving back above the cloud again and RSI back above 60 threshold, then I think we'll see a push up to at least 139, possibly higher. If it takes out the low here, and let me just add a horizontal line to it, there we are, 137.20, well, then we could be looking at 136.40, and then we could have a different situation altogether. 100 moving average still giving a pressure to the downside. Sterling Canada, well, which well will it break out of? Will it take out the peak here from today? We can see RSI also bounced just below 60 threshold. We have bounced to the 50% of this downtrend there. I think we could see a push up to 61.8 at 186 area. Key question, will it also push higher? If it gets up there, there's a great likelihood that 60 threshold will also be taken out and closed above, and then there could be further upside potential. Euro Swiss, I think we'll see a push up towards the 94.50 level. Bullish trends, positive sentiment on the RSI indicating we could get up to that resistance and possibly also higher. However, if it slides back below 93.50, downtrend could resume. Then we're moving on to dollar Swiss. Seems my internet is a bit slow this morning here. I do apologize about that. Trading sideways here in dollar Swiss. 80 spot 10 or 80, I would say, is a key support. A push below that and a close below, well, then downtrend could resume. But for now, we are in a positive sentiment and could also push higher. We have broken this bearish trend here. We actually did a kind of a double bottom pattern taking out. That should be potential up to 82.50. But let's see. We're not really there yet, but keep an eye on here next day. If it starts crawling slowly higher, then I think that's the way to go. Moving on to the dollar index, well, hovering around the 55 moving average and the 61.8 retracement here at 88.08. Well, it bounced well. Positive sentiment on the RSI actually is indicating that, and if this is bouncing from between the 786 and 61.8 retracement, that is a little bit unusual, but it's also the cloud that is giving some support. So next few days could be crucial. If that bounce, well, then we could see higher levels here towards 99, 17, possibly higher. I gotta remove this, it's a little bit noisy. So let's just see what's going on. But that's just to show you how you could apply the Fibonacci to your charts. Moving on to metals and of course gold especially. Being rejected here at the 786 retracement, just above 3,400, 3,402 and a bit. It actually spiked a little bit higher, almost to 3410, and now we are setting back. So also here, if you're a very short-term trader, I would do this and then see, okay, how much is it going to set back? Well, almost to 38.2 now. Could actually set back even more. RSI rejected at 60 threshold, but there's still positive sentiment, so that'll be key here next few days. If it takes out 3,410, well, then we're looking at higher levels, but for now, a little bit of a correction that could put that could jeopardize the bullish trend. Silver, well, also a setback here after spiking above the 61.8 retracement. I think it could set back to around 37.50, where there's some support, still positive sentiment. But look at this, RSI rejected at 60 threshold. So that happens a lot. So that should be observed. And you can also add a Fibonacci to this one if you're a very short-term trader on silver. And I think it could set back all the way down to 61.8 at 37.09. Platinum, still really doing not much. It spiked a little bit above the minor resistance there. just a few pips, not much. So still this range bounce behavior. So if it takes out the peak from Friday, then it could push higher towards 1400. But for now, it's still a range bound. 1261 is the key support. Copper, well, still trying to find some solid ground here. And maybe it has found it here just above 433. If it breaks below, well, then we're looking at a much lower level down here at 400. Push above 465, especially a close above. I could see it push towards 495, but I think we will stay range bound here for quite some time. On the energy market, the WTI crude oil pushing lower. We are in now a negative sentiment. Did happen Friday. Could slide lower towards $60 area. There's not really much support until then, so that could be the direction we are taking. So let's see. We are actually in a confirmed bearish trend. Same here on Brent, of course, close below 40 threshold here RSI on Friday. So really not much stopping it before 62.50. Not saying it will go there, but that's at least why we say there's no support until then. European nat gas just above the previous lows here at 31.90. I think if we could see it sliding lower towards 31. All moving average declining. You see 55 down, 100 down. So really weighing heavy on European nat gas. US nat gas just above the spike down there at 285. We'll try to close this gap, but also kind of depressed negative sentiment all around, indicating likely lower levels at the moment. On the interest rates or yields, seen a little bit of bounce in the US 10-year Treasury yields. Could bounce up to the 430 resistance here and the 38.2 retracement. But look at this 55 moving average coming down. So we are in a bearish trend, lower low, lower high, lower low. And what will be a lower high there? 420 still key support. Moving on to the European yields, and here we are. What's going on with my internet this morning here? Seems to be a little bit of a struggle there. Okay, seems like my trading view is working again. I don't know, it crashed. Anyway, let's move on to the EU 10-year Treasury yields. EU yields here. That's bounced to Friday, setting back a little bit today. Still key 272. Didn't close above any time. If it does close above, well, then we could see a push higher towards 280, possibly higher. But for now, still range bound there. The UK 10 also bounced towards the end of last week, setting back a little bit now again here. Bounced from around the 450 level. And what we can also do here, we can say, okay, what is it? The bounce there almost up to the 61.8 retracement there at 462. But in the broader picture, basically range bound. The cryptos are on the move, and now we have a strong push here in Bitcoin over the weekend, and seems likely to take out the previous all-time highs there with a push towards 130,000. I think we will reach that fairly shortly, in about maybe a week or two. So that is the 161.8 projection of this correction there. So uptrend has resumed, positive sentiment on the RSI, likely move higher. Also new highs on Ethereum, reached the 161.8 projection, which we talked about, at around 4,300 and a bit. Could push higher, but now we have some divergence here on the RSI, but could push higher towards 4,500. So really strong move on the crypto side. All right, that's all for today with a few hiccups. I do apologize about that, but have a nice day, and be careful of the stops out there.